y'all, I'm Carol. Welcome to my Creating Corner. Please hit subscribe and ring the bell on top so you can easily find your way back. A lovely lady I stamp with, Esther Boyle, showed me this fold and I am hooked. It is so easy and so pretty. Here are a few examples. This is using Last a Lifetime, and inside I put the rose from Healing Hugs. I love those distinctive stamps, but I think that is just so pretty. And then I've got Forever Blossoms. You mean so much to me. Little stamping inside there. And using the Retired Butterfly Basics with a little itty bitty greeting. And that's just nothing stamped inside, just a cute little note card. I just love this fold. So today, this is the one I'm doing with you. Here I've used Clubhouse from the 2020 mini catalog. I really liked this one. And the DSP that I'm using, let me move this card a little bit. So the DSP that I'm using, you don't really see much of it. It is from the Celebration Lily Impressions. I'm using the green side. It's 4 by 3 and then scored at 1 inch along the long side. Okay. I've also got some green vellum. The vellum is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. I have some blueberry bushel panel, a garden green panel, my whisper white panel, 5 1/4 by 4, and I've got a healthy size scrap and a nice big panel to cut hem with. We'll get into that in a minute. What I do want you to notice is, let me see if you can see it up here. Do you notice it's a very, very, very thin blueberry bushel frame and then the thin garden green frame? The way I got those so thin is, okay, the garden green is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and what I did is I cut it just covering that 5 1/2 line. If you just cover the line like that, and then of course the same thing with the 4 1/4, and then with the blueberry bushel, it's cut at 5 6/16 by 4 3/16. I cut it just shy of the measuring line, so that way it gives just a hair difference in addition, without going an entire extra 16th, because then that would interfere with the size, interfere with your whisper white panel. Okie dokie. Let me go ahead and glue this down before I do anything else. I do like to use the liquid glue for this part. It is such a thin margin. I do need an extra little moment to be able to kind of move things around a bit. There we go. Okay. Whoops. Almost. There we go. Yes. See what I mean? I need an extra minute to be able to move things. All right. Well, that'll do, boo. Let's put that aside over there. Let's get these other cards out of the way. I just think that is so pretty with the gold-edged petal pink ribbon. Okay. So, I've got my card base done and put aside. Let's look at the sentiments. I'm going to go ahead and do the sentiments before I do anything else. Okay? So with Night of Navy, I am going to start with the sentiment that I wish everybody, I hope the next year is full of green fairways, blue skies, and short putts. Wow. So tap, tap, tap. Remember, when you're inking up a stamp, you don't push and smush, you just tap, tap, tap. I'm going to stamp it off to make sure that it's completely covered. It is. Tap, tap, tap. Put your cardstock straight. There we go. Clean it off with my simple chamois. This is going to be a birthday card, so I'm going to add happy birthday. Tap, tap, tap. Yes, it is good. Birthday. Clean it off. Okay, while I've got this out, I'm going to do the front sentiment. That's this little piece right here. You're the greatest guy by par. Heart, 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 heart. Oh yeah. Silly, but it's fun. Okay, tap, tap, tap. It's inked up. Let me... Now you want to make sure that you don't have anything underneath it, because if I had this halfway over this other piece of paper when I went to stamp it, it would not have given a good impression. There literally would have been a seam, and we don't want that. Okay, now in basic gray, let's add the golf ball that's sitting on the tee. There we are. Lovely. Lovely. I love this simple chamois. It gets pretty stained, but that's because it just takes everything right off. Cleans your stamp up so beautifully. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take these completely off my table because I am done with them. Out of my way. Out of my way. Okay. So let's move to the DSP. The DSP, as I said, is 3 by 4. I've scored it at 1 inch along the long side. Now I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and give it a little rub with my bone folder. I've got 2 of them. Give it a rub with the bone folder. Now I'm going to fold the edges down alongside the score. I'm not going to cover the score. I'm just going up to the score so that I can still fold the paper over. I'm going to do that on both sides. There we go. Give it a rub with the folder. There we go. We do the other one. Go. Let's glue these little tabs down. Oh boy, I have been spending quite a bit of time in my creating corner these past couple of weeks, and I am getting low on the glue. I'm out crafting the delivery trucks. Let me just put it that way. So that's okay. Now I'm going to put some glue on this 1 inch piece, and let's come right up to it. Oops, there we go. And now this one. Right up to it. Now y'all, if you see I'm making a mistake, tell me, stop me. I've made so many of these though in the past week or two, I think I could do it in my sleep. Okay, here we go. That's done. Now let me go ahead and handle the vellum. What I'm going to do with the vellum, I'm going to use the Subtle Dynamic Textured Impressions Embossing Folder. Now what I like about this, look, you've got this line here, and you put your cardstock down along the line, and then you know that your, whoops, as long as you don't move it, you know that it's going to be straight. Yes, we want our embossing to be straight. Let me get my machine up here. Now I have found with this one I need one tab. Okay. That. Okay. Uh-oh. Fell under the table. There we go. Now on one of the other cards I did use a leaf embossing folder to emboss the DSP before using it, and it really, let me see, I've got it right here. I don't even know which one it is. It just didn't show up because it's just such a little tiny piece of the DSP that shows. So, oh, is it this one? No, I don't know which one it is. But anyways, this subtle embossing folder on the vellum is lovely. It adds such a nice little, just a little visual interest. Okay, put that aside. Alrighty. Put that over there. Getting things. Okay, now it's time for my golfer. I'm doing the golfer using the Memento ink because I am going to be coloring him with blends. When you're coloring with the blends, if you use just the regular black ink, it can pull some of the color and get it kind of muddy looking. So we want to use the Memento. Now the interesting thing about this pad, this Tuxedo black Memento ink pad, it's a hard pad, so you can actually rub your stamp and that actually inks it up really nicely. Just give it a nice swipe. Now I'm going to go right in the middle. Put that on that side. It looked like I got a little something on there. So I'm going to go right in the middle. Beautiful. Now to clean off the Memento, I don't use my simple chamois. I try to not use my simple chamois. Instead, I use the Stampin' Up! Stays On Cleaner. Really does a good job. Gets it off nicely. You know, if your stamps are stained, you know, it's okay. They still work. But it sure is nice when your stamps can come completely clean. Okay. Let's get these out of the way. Alrighty. To color him in, I'm going to use Ivory, this Ivory Stampin Blend for his arm. He's been out in the sun. He's got a bit of a tan. His arm and his neck. That's done. I've got a soft suede. This is the light soft suede. I'm going to color in the, oh, this must be the dark soft suede. Okay. Color in the shadow and his glove. Okay. those aside. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of color to the golf club there. Now, he's going to have a green shirt. I'm going to take the light Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to color the entire shirt in the light Granny Apple Green. When I use the blends, I like to go over the entire piece first in the light, and then I'll take the dark and I'll accent using the artist's shadows, the artist's shadow marks as a guide. I'll accent with the dark blend, and then I come back with the light and go over the whole thing again, and then it blends right together. Very nice, very nice. I'm going to use my Night of Navy blend for his cap and his pants. Go ahead and get his cap in the light blue. Now his pants, I guess you could have him in khakis. I love how the blends, how it just lays down the color. You don't get any kind of stroke marks. It just lays down the color. Isn't that just flows? You don't have to press. Just comes right off your brush. Love, love, love using these blends. Now with the dark one, I'm going to use the artist's shadow points as a guide for where to use my dark blue blend. Okay. Oops. And let's get some on his hat. Go over the whole thing again. Oh, let me keep that out. I'm going to go over the whole thing again with my light, and it blends in. Isn't that just lovely? I mean, it just blends. It's the whole name of the game. While I've got my dark blend out, I'm going to go ahead and color in 2 little pearls so that I'll have those to anchor down my front sentiment. You know, you can take your little white pearls and using your Stampin' Right markers or your Stampin' Blends, you just color them to be whatever color you need for your project. It's great, you know, Stampin' Up! Does carry many different colors, but sometimes you run out. Like if you're spending a lot of time in your crafting corner, which I hope everyone's staying at home for now, but sometimes you run out and you just have to make do, or they don't have the color you want. Let me just add a little bit of Granny Apple Green to his grass. Yep. Okay. Now to cut him out, I am using a stitched nested label die, and this is the very largest one. I'll show you. See, of all of them, this one is the very largest. It's a little bit bigger than that one. Okay. I could have used that one, but it's okay. This in here. Let me get my machine back. I do that so often. I'm glad it is such a sturdy product. Okay. That on the bottom. There we go. What happened to the top one? That top just fell somewhere. Okay. I'll just grab a different one. Okay. There we go. There we go. lovely. But he is out golfing in a beautiful day, so we need to give him some blue sky. On the other ones, I used a watercolor pencil and my aqua painter. On this one, I'm going to just use the ink pad. This is a balmy blue, and I prefer to put the ink on one of the blocks instead of trying to smush it on the cover. I like to keep my cover clean. And these new ink pads, it seems to be a little bit more difficult for me to squish it down. So I just put it on an acrylic block. Now this is not shimmery paper and it's not watercolor paper, so I'm going to be real careful and not use too much water here. Okay, I'm going to try it out on the back first. Oh yeah, here. Do pay attention. If you're using blends, you have to do it on something that's going to be layered because it does bleed through. Okay, so that'll work nicely. Yeah, you like to try things out on the back first, right? Let's get some water down on there. There we go. Could be pretty with just a little bit of yellow behind it too. I like laying down some watercolor after it's all stamped and all. Oops, isn't that a little too much there? There we go. There we are. That'll do. Lovely. Lovely. There's his blue skies. Okay. Let's see, what can we do now? Put the card together, right? Okay. What I do need to do, let's get everything back over here. Now for this sentiment, I pulled out the old retired bow maker punch. So if you've got this bow maker punch, you're going to want to use this part right here. It's pretty cool. Just put that through, figure out where it fits the best. Punch. And there we've got this really cool shape. So I'm going to bend it over my finger. I'm going to bend that up. Just kind of play with it a little bit. Fold it, fold it. And now I've got it kind of dimensional, kind of standing up a bit. Take my, I've got 2 adhesive dots left. I save these from the paper pumpkin kits whenever possible. If I can use like regular snail instead of the adhesive dots that come with the paper pumpkin kit, I'll use the snail so that I have these adhesive dots for other projects like this. Okay. Now to put the vellum down, tear and tape does not really show through the vellum. It's pretty good. It's really good to use. So I'm just going to put a strip, maybe 2 strips of the tear and tape on the back of the vellum. Make sure that it's not upside down. Let me put it right at the top there. There we go. That has a little bit of an edge to it. Let me just trim that off. Just trim it off. There we go. It really makes a difference if you, when you're measuring, if you go up to the line or if you cover the line. I'm telling you, that's how you end up with the little tiny bit that you have to trim off. Okay, so I've got my vellum down with the tear and tape. Now let's put this guy on here. Now for him, I'm just going to use the snail. Okay. He fits very nicely. Alrighty. Let me take the adhesive there and there. You're the greatest Kai by far. Of course, if you're going to want to mail it, you may not want it to be quite so pushed up. But love it. Now I need my Take-A-Pick tool, because this is a two-tool job here. Getting that pearl, my blue pearl. I'm so proud of myself that I didn't shoot one across the room. There we go. Ah, loving it. Loving it. And now just a little bit of wet glue. There we go. And skinny it in there, just the hair of the blue. Just the hair of the blue. Boy. There we go. I love it. 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 Now, a little bit of Wink Stella. Add some shimmer. Yeah, let's put some Wink Stella on the background. There we go. Put some Wink Stella on him too. I love Wink Stella. There we go. Oops. And there we have it. You're the greatest guy by par. I hope the next year is full of green fairways, blue skies, and short putts. Happy birthday. I hope you like my card. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. So, I mean, you don't have to make it a birthday card even. Just a thinking of you. I just really, really like this Clubhouse set. And it looks great even if you didn't get everything in the suite. Of course, if you do get the stuff in the suite, you can make it even fancier. But I'm having fun sitting here in my creating corner. I hope you're having a good time creating also. If you do not have a US demonstrator and you need one, I would be honored to help you take care of your stamping needs. Visit my 24/7 store, https creatingwithcarole, that's CAROLE, .stampinup.net, or visit me on Facebook at Made with Love. So until next time, stay safe and keep making the world a beautiful place. Bye!